Are you a fan of the Amazon superhero series The Boys? Now, while we're waiting on the third season to arrive, a new animated series is hitting the platform. The Boys presents Diabolical is a hodgepodge of animation styles and stories, but is it going to satisfy? From Homelander's first mission slash mistake and a home for kids who didn't quite get their A-list superpowers, to Butcher and Huey in the style of the original comics, The Boys presents Diabolical delivers blood-drenched but shockingly emotional television in an 8-episode animated anthology. This animated series is just bonkers. Each 12 to 13 minute episode gives us a brand new story that exists within the Boys' universe. Vought plays a minor role in the stories, and at times we also get appearances from members of the Seven. The animation is just awesome to watch. There are styles that resemble old Looney Tune cartoons, a traditional anime, and even then some that look like they're painted. Now, this is a bit like watching the Netflix animated series Love, Death, and Robots because of how varied the storytelling is as well as the animation styles. I'm really blown away by all of the varied animation that we get. The first episode is a non-speaking cartoon that is one that feels like it came directly from the creators of the Looney Tunes, except people explode and blood splatters just all over the place. This is contrasted so well within the whimsical music and the cute animation. And the combo of that extreme violence with the rounded animation, I think it works together really well. And within the animation, sometimes very cinematic techniques are utilized, making these even more compelling. Now, one or two of the episodes utilize some depth, allowing the camera to push from the foreground to the background, and it really feels like it would be in a movie or maybe even a live-action show. One of my favorite episodes is called Boyd in 3D because the animation resembles that of that Pixar short Paperman. Except this one, it's fully in color. That's not an exact match in style, but it has the feels. Plus, the message within it I thought was touching, and it has a bite to it too. Episode 7 may be the most touching though, but it doesn't mean that it's not got its own twist of darkness. It follows a couple dealing with an illness and shows the extremes that people are willing to go to in order to care for their loved one. Plus, there's a sequence that mildly reminded me of Akira with how this one thing just morphs and grows. Now, because these stories are unrelated, they can be watched in any order. Now, I chose to watch them in chronological order just for easier binging, but whatever order you watch them in, it's easy to get just sucked right into the craziness. Like, one of the episodes is written by and then it stars Aquafina. Let's just say this episode reminded me a lot of the South Park episode with Mr. Hanky. It's bizarre, but it's also grossly funny. The violence is extreme and it's unrelenting, which I think is awesome. Plus, because of the animation, the show's able to do all kinds of insane action that would be much harder and expensive to pull off in a live action show. The themes are all pretty dark, but that doesn't make them any less entertaining. So many of them deal with acceptance, where we watch characters learn to embrace who they are, especially as many of them want to be different. I think as a social commentary, it's good, but in the show, it doesn't come across as preachy or even in your face about the message. And some of them are more cautionary tales or morality plays than social commentaries, but they're still very effective in their message. And because I really enjoyed the story arcs that we see, I'd love to get more episodes that follow the characters just to see where they go from here and how they progress. Now, because the episodes are so short, the binge is really quick, but the storytelling doesn't feel rushed. We get some effective and intriguing narratives, and the show packs in development and compelling character arcs within just this very short period of time. I loved all the voice work that we get in this. Not only do we have some of the actors from the live action series performing their roles, like Anthony Starr as Homelander, but then we get the likes of Don Cheadle, Aisha Taylor, Christian Slater, Simon Pegg, Michael Cera, Kumail Nanjiani, and Retta, plus then a whole bunch more. Now, if you haven't seen any of the Boys live action series, I'm not sure how engaging this is going to be because it does rely on some understanding of some of the lore from that series. Now, I'd suggest at least checking out the first season so that you know what's going on, especially when it comes to how the supers are supers. The series has a lot of humor, but it's dark in nature. Now, I wasn't laughing out loud, but I was amused most of the time, and sometimes I was chuckling, and almost always I was smiling. This show makes for some fun and entertaining binging. I was sucked in, and thanks to the very short format, I was able to blow through them in less than 2 hours. So overall, The Boys presents Diabolical is a bloody and violent animated anthology that lives within the universe of The Boys, but allows us to see many different aspects that aren't focused on in that live action series. The varied animation styles create visual excitement, and when that is coupled with the engaging and surprisingly deep storylines, the series gives one more example why animation isn't just for kiddie shows, but can deliver worthwhile entertainment that will satisfy adults. The voice acting is superb, as is the writing, creative, captivating stories dealing with mature themes and addressing societal norms. I don't think this is a series to start off with if you've not seen the live action series, because there is background information necessary to gain a full understanding of what's being discussed here. But that being said, you don't need to have watched the live action in its entirety to dive into this one. There is sex, nudity, a lot of profanity, and an absolute ton of violence. I give The Boys Presents Diabolical 4.5 out of 5 couches. Are you a fan of The Boys? Let me know who your favorite character is in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.